Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and I hope you're having a fantastic Friday afternoon. Now, the financial fitness bunny, otherwise known as Nicolette Mashile, burst onto the scene when audiences reacted extremely well to her takes on financial literacy. The social entrepreneur and media personality is passionate about all things inspirational and informative. Now, she chats to us today about the diverse journey, plus her TV gig on SABC1's Daily Thetha. Girl, welcome to The Loft.
Thank you so much.
So I have to tell the audiences back at home, we go way back. We studied together at Rhodes.
Yes.
Fast forward how many years later?
Sure, a whole lot of years.
And not only a whole lot of years, but a whole lot of experiences, a whole lot of trials and tribulations, getting up, falling down again, and just going back at it. But for yourself in the financial literacy game, how did the nickname, the Financial Fitness Bunny, come along?
Look, let's just put it plain and put. Finances are boring. It's as simple as that. You've got to sprinkle some glitter on it. You've got to give it a bit of personality. And I just thought, you know, what other animal is cute as a bunny? So I think that's how I got to the bunny. It was supposed to be financial fitness, but that was also a bit mundane and a bit dry. So I was like, you know what, let's give it a little bit of bunny, a little bit of softness, but still fun and exciting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we got to that.
I mean, someone like myself, you have finances and fitness in one sentence, I run away.
Yeah, like I'm also like, I don't know about it, you know. And people always think like I'm actually a fitness person. I'm like, no, guys,
that's
look
not
at
what
me,
I do.
please, man. It's not what I do.
No, girl, your body is banging, and not only is what is on the outside banging, but what's on the inside? Your brain works in such a meticulous way. You're so good with numbers. Where did your passion for all things fitness, finance, and financial literacy come about?
Look, I think it was really from making mistakes. You know, a lot of us make financial mistakes because we don't know. We've got a disadvantage of not knowing. The conversations about money in our families are very, very difficult. Nobody wants to speak about money. It's very taboo. It feels, it's boring, you know, and so it was I made a very big financial mistake. I tried to buy a house, signed the offer to purchase, only to realize that it's actually legally binding when I try to pull out of it, and I had to settle out of court. And that's when I realized that a lot of us make financial decisions without knowing. So I just thought, you know what, let's start having conversations about money. Perhaps maybe your story sounds like my story, you know? And maybe from that we can teach each other. And I think that's what the platform has really been. It's been a peer-to-peer conversation. Let's learn from each other. And then we do have, obviously, the professionals, the far more learned people who come on board and they correct and we fix the country one person at a time. Go.
One person at a time. I mean, for myself, I think that is so imperative and it's so important, especially within our communities. Where you burn your fingers, don't let the other person follow through with the same mistake. Let's help each other, Sizane, you know, in this whole journey. So what happened mentally for you when that idea kind of spring bulbed and you were like, hey, I could actually make a career out of this, and you know, let me start somewhere, let me start on social media and do what I can?
Yeah, I think luckily for me, it was also during the time when I started with Daily Thetha, and I realized the power of conversation, right? And I think that's what we do really well on Daily Thetha, is we start these conversations, we get people going. And I was like, okay, let's actually marry the two. I'm already starting and I'm speaking about money. Let's see how we can start the conversation, start the uncomfortable conversation. And I think that's what it really has become. It's, you don't want to talk about lobola. We're going to talk about it, and we know it's expensive.
Sensitive subject, sensitive.
Right? Having children, you know, we always talk about people saying, I need to have a son. No, you don't need to have a son if you already have 3 daughters. If you can't afford it, leave it alone.
Absolutely.
You know? So I think that's what it really, it kind of built itself around to become. And it's been it's been a great journey.
And how are you finding being in this role, being, of course, front and center at the Daily Thetha? How is it? How much have you learned as an individual?
I think my entire life turned around 360, and I don't think people realize the power of, you know, people think we just sit behind cameras. And we put on a show, but there is so much that you learn about yourself. There's so much that you learn about what impact you actually have on people. I mean, I get people bumping into me in the street and saying, Nicolette, that conversation you guys are speaking about, you know, I've got a problem with that. Can you please organize somebody?
Let's help each other.
And I'm like, yeah, let me see if I can organize the producers
to come talk to you.
Because I'm like, I don't really know how. And I mean, I get inboxes every single day with people saying, please, can you get us onto Daily Thetha, because the platform is so big and the conversations that we have are so relevant, you know. So I think my entire life has changed 360. It's also, I've learned to listen. You know, at most times when you are a host, you've got to listen because you've got to hear what the other person is saying.
Absolutely.
Right?
And a lot of times in our daily lives, we just listen to respond.
Yes.
Not listen to actually interpret what the person's saying and come up with a solution.
Definitely.
And how solution-orientated are you now as a person? Are you just down to the wire?
Girl, it's part of the job now.
Yeah.
You cannot just leave somebody with a story or whoever's got something because people are coming to you looking for solutions, right? They see it on television. You are offering those solutions. So whenever people bump into me, I mean, I could be like, you know, at those 3 a.m. places where I am, and people are asking me for solutions, and I'm like,
for financial, first of all, don't buy that. Let's invest.
Like, so I think that's what the platform really does for you. It puts you in a position where you've got a little bit of influence, and it's very important to be responsible with that influence, you know. So I think for me, I've really, as you've asked, I've learned to listen, I've learned to engage a little bit better, and you've got to have range for different topics because now it's not just finance, right?
Yeah.
We're speaking a range of socio-economic issues.
Everything
because
above the sun.
To normal people, and normal people have, I mean, we've had crazy conversations. We've spoken about witchcraft. We've spoken about, you know, the influence that churches have.
Been there.
So I think that for me is what makes it really special.
Well, Nicolette, I know that in 2020 you already started the journey of penning down an actual financial book, putting it together. All the best for that.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
definitely be looking out for it, and hopefully you'll be bringing your book to Afternoon Express, ne?
Definitely, girl.
Thank you, Siyabonga.
Thank you so much.